Started, I don't know what you did. Now I'm the gal that's chasing you up and flip my lid. Come here, eager beaver, baby.
Hello and welcome to
Was That an Orgy? Woo!
starring Charlene and Teresa Bawd, two sisters that explore the topics of sex, sexuality, gender, and sex positivity. We will also try to answer the question, was that an orgy? Mommy has to spank
Right,
us.
she.
Mommy
Are we
gonna
live?
Spank us. Oh
Fabulous.
My God. Not today.
Hi,
Satan.
everybody. Not today, Satan.
Just the tip. Okay.
Just the tip. Okay. Yay. So today we were going to have the big reveal for the Clone A Willy.
We were going to reveal our Willy to you.
Yes, exactly. Again. And unfortunately, we ran into realizing that there are some issues with the way we did it, because not having a live human that you can like press I'll just grab it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Grab the Willy. Not having a real human. This is it for those who can't see. It's the cylinder that was actually used in the original Clone A Willy that is supposed to actually make a seal right up against your body.
Mm-hmm.
But because we can't show a real dick on live streaming
YouTube,
anywhere because we're in this Puritan hangover, we decided to put a dildo in our friend's pants to replicate it. But we couldn't make a seal against his jeans. So like all of the, Clone A Willy juice kind of dripped out of the bottom. And it ended up making the mold unusable. So I had to track down a store that sold, it needs to be, I think it's called a platinum cure silicone. There's so much science involved in this, and it was such a pain in the weenie.
For the negative? It has to
for
be
the
silicone?
negative, because you're going to be pouring the other kind of silicone inside of it.
Oh.
And so I didn't realize how scientific it was. So this just makes me like, give all the hurrahs to the Clone A Willy company, because you don't realize how complicated it actually is until you fuck up your Clone A Willy and try to do it on, what's his name? Jeff Stryker's weenie instead of a real weenie. And so anyway, I had to, it was actually great. I called Steve Heikkila from last week.
Uh-huh.
I was trying to figure it out, and he was like my dildo Sherpa guru, and was telling me about all the different silicones. And then I had to call around to all the different places and try to find like a platinum cure. If you do like a 10 cure, wait, it's still drying.
Oh,
sorry.
Geez.
Give me that. Give me my weenie.
Don't touch my weenie.
Yeah. And it turns out like why this couldn't be done in time is that I didn't even notice, like one of the great things about Clone A Willy is that besides that, they found some silicone when you're doing the mold that sets in 90 seconds.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So when I went to the store that had this stuff, I didn't realize that the set time was 6 hours. Oh,
my
great.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that I'd be able to rock this out yesterday. And then have then after you have the mold done, you pull out the weenie and then you pour in the silicone and put in the vibrator in the middle of it, right?
Yes.
But then that has to set for 24 hours.
Oh,
So that's what set me behind. So this is like the eternal cliffhanger, this little
we'll have a
Clone A
final
Willy
product next week.
Yeah. So if anyone else messes up their Clone A Willy, instead of doing like I did, which I'll show you what I got. This stuff at I think it's called Art and Craftsman on Lombard and close to Atlantic.
That is some of the ugliest packaging I think I've ever seen in my life. This is like
don't get us sued, Char.
Oh no, seriously. I've done packaging design. This is horrible.
Right? For a graphic designer, it's a nightmare.
This is like my eyes are bleeding the way that it looks like this figure's eyes are bleeding on here. This
yes.
Really. Don't make me
It's
cry.
pretty bad. I know. Molding the 70s sculpture, like, why would you want to mold that?
Yeah.
Let's take this sculpture I did of Aunt Mildred and or maybe it looks more like someone's attempt at poke a hot ass,
Oh, yeah. Or like, oh
like
my
some
gosh,
kind of
it does. This is just so wrong on so many levels.
porn version of, some poke a hot ass character. But anyway.
Oh my God. This is so bad.
So hideous. So a needle pulling thread.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, it was a lot harder, like having to do it my own way. No pun intended. A lot harder.
Because
Yeah.
you didn't have the magical ingredient to make the negative, which was the really fast, or would have been the
Yes.
really fast part with the actual Clone A Willy kit.
Yes. If you
That is the
use
problem.
this at home, you're going to have to find a guy that can sport a 6-hour Woody. And, you know,
And
if
he might need to see a doctor afterwards.
I know exactly. If you find that guy, give him my number. And then you have to get this. So, you know, this is like $34. And then you have to get this mold release, which is like $15.
Oh, mold
So
release. That sounds nice.
Yeah, right? Clone A Willy is the way to go. They just make it so simple and easy for you. And then so what I had to do was, and the other thing too is if you are hung like Jeff Stryker, it's not going to be enough like dildo silicone in there. You know, I had to trim down the dildo to where the silicone goo filled it. And then the only way that I could get the, vibrating part to sit in there is I took one of my spongy overnight hair curlers and wound it around the tip. Yeah, and shoved it in there.
Panties sticking out of there.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, don't touch it. Because it takes like, it's got a good 14 more hours to go.
So
maybe more.
Having been on the Clone A Willy website and knowing their product a little bit, they happen to have Clone A Willy XL. So if you are hung like Jeff Stryker, just buy the extra large version.
If you're hung like a donkey or a burrito,
buy the extra large size and you will get extra length and extra girth.
Fantastic.
So, okay, Clone A Willy, to be continued.
To be continued. And again, this makes me support them all the more. It's like, don't try this at home. You know?
Do we still want people to send in the jokes so that we can be like, give the prize next week with it seems like we could go with
or the best comment, something like that.
Joke, comment, anything. Get pithy.
Yeah, get pithy.
Get pithy with
pith off.
Pith on me.
Yeah, because I want to do this again and try it at home because one of the things I realized too is that I was talking to one of my friends, Gustav Sculptor, who's especially good at molding the body. And he was bringing up like some of the challenges of like it can be that if your erect penis kind of has a tilt to it, then that can be challenging as well because you've got to get that seal. And so this is what I started talking to him about. We were talking about how can you get a good mold if you have a crooked dick. And then one of the things I thought of is like take 2 dining room chairs, lay across them both. And then do the Clone A Willy from the bottom,
Yeah, because it's only 90 seconds.
Yeah, if you can get
fine.
A semi wood and then, have someone do it from the bottom while they, I don't know, finger your ass with an aubergine, butt plug, dildo, whatever. I'm just trying to promote our friends here.
So awesome.
Yeah, that I think that would work. And also being a massage therapist, they have like a hole in the table sometimes that you can pull out. If someone laid across that and just had their fruit bowl hanging down below, that maybe you could like do it that way. But having the person face down seems like it would really be optimal. Because then you don't have to worry about the seal. If they have a crooked dick, you can kind of like hold it on and not worry about the goo spilling out.
Yeah,
the silicone goo. I want to be specific here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when we were doing it, I was like, well, is there any way you could tip it enough like from your actual hips, just tip your hips really far. But I think that would be the way to go, is to get a semi chub, especially if you're like, if you tend to veer to one side or the other, maybe just go semi so that you're not fully veered off, and then like approach the penis from below.
Yeah, and have someone under there like holding it for you, because it's just 90 seconds if you use their kit instead of 6 hours. And then the trick would be too, what I noticed was you really have to look at it from all sides and make sure that the dick isn't touching the edge of the tube, because that's going to create a hole in the mold.
Yeah.
So, and kind of lose some of the, texture, the dick skin texture.
You'll wind up with a flat spot on your wiener.
Yeah.
On your willy.
No one wants a flat wiener.
No one wants a flat spot on their willy. Oh.
Yeah. So
willy.
That's what I learned is Clone A Willy rocks, and watch the videos. Don't fuck it up, because this route is much more expensive. It's probably going to be like at the end of it, like a $75 dildo.
Wow, it better be good.
Yeah, and that's the problem too. Like, if you want someone specific's dildo, like
Mhm.
your husband's going away to war, going overseas, and you want
Mhm.
his dick, then, it's totally like it's worth it
Yeah.
to go through the trouble of making your own.
Yeah, I
You know?
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. It'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. So sentimental.
Oh,
You can put it on
we're
your
just so
wedding cake
sentimental like
or,
that.
your gravestone. What's on your tombstone? What do you
Yeah.
want on your tombstone? My dick.
My
So-
husband's dick.
My husband's
boyfriend's
dick. There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know what you have on your dicket docket, but while I was like watching the Clone A Willy videos,
Mhm.
there were these, how YouTube just keeps playing videos.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I saw some videos. I'm gonna grab my computer. Hold that thought. And these videos about like the history of the dildo started coming up. No pun intended again. And have you seen any of these? Michael, I sent you the pictures. I don't know if you're able to bring them up Juan by Juan, but I'll show Shar back here.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see where they start. They start back here. Gotta wait for the computer to load up.
I mean, phalluses have been sculpted for centuries.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the first one is a Paleolithic stone phallus dated to 29,000 BC, found in Germany. It's the one that has the close up of the head of the dildo. Oh, before that, it's the first one in the string of the ones I sent you where I was like, here's.
It's the one that looks like a stone tablet.
That one. Yeah, that's it.
Stone tablet.
Yeah.
And
but 29,000 BC, found in Germany.
I'm sure they only used it because they had stiff necks.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next one, it was 28,000 BC, found in Germany.
Is it no surprise that we are quite a bit German? Like,
yeah,
and,
exactly.
And here they are with some of the earliest dildos.
Then it turns out as I
read phallus, that doesn't sound good at all.
Yeah. And the next
awful.
one, Michael, is the chalk phallus. And it does. It looks like a piece of chalk. And, I was wondering, what is chalk? Is it made out of like diatomaceous earth or calcified sea creatures or something like that?
I thought it was
something like that.
The shells of sea creatures.
So that has to be very drying for the vagina.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's one that you'd use.
Yeah.
That maybe is decorative. Maybe that's a decorative.
And then the next picture is like there's these that dated back to 12,000 BC.
Good Lord. Some of those are huge.
And it's the one where there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
phallic.
in a row. 6 in a row. And they're made out of like deer horn, different forms of horn to satisfy your horniness. Those seem kind of okay in my mind. I was like, that doesn't seem like
horn, yeah.
It's going to create a yeast infection. But now that said, as I was like,
I don't know, that one looks porous on the
that
edge,
one looks
the
like a
side.
turd. It totally
that one
looks like a turd.
It's gonna get in there. It's gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
Yeah, right. And the second one from the left, I mean, owie, like, shave the tip down a little bit. Like,
yeah, that one's pointy and dangerous.
I know, not just the tip on this one, Satan. Like, please, no,
please, not the tip.
The one that's like fourth in from the left, it almost looks like someone put Google eyes on it. I really like that one. See that? Yeah, maybe it's a piercing. But
I think that's just a holder for it. I think that's holding it up. It
will hold her.
It's like a guitar stand.
Oh, like a tiny guitar stand.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can play that donger.
Yeah. And then the next one, I like that they put it next to a little ruler. So I'm sleep deprived. I can't think of like normal words now.
6.5 inch long.
Yeah.
Penis.
So it just goes to
phallic
show.
Carving.
I mean, who knows? Maybe this was the, Jeff Stryker of dicks back in its day. Because weren't people smaller? Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about their penises, but in general, they weren't as tall.
Yeah. And I tend to think like, the bigger the person, the bigger the vagina. So I'm a little like, wow, I can't believe they're that big. But yeah, this one was 6,000 BC in Sweden. And the other crazy thing that I just read, there isn't a picture for this one, thank God. But
by the way, if you're listening on a podcast service, you might want to watch this one on YouTube just because we are showing photos of all of these things as we talk about them.
Yes. Then the next one is a bronze phallus. Looks like it's got gangrene though.
Oh yeah.
From China's. You pronounce that? I don't even want to try.
Jiangsu? I don't know.
I thought it was Jiangsu. It dates to the 2nd century BC in Nanjing Museum.
Wow, that one's very pretty though.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And that one being made of bronze makes a little more sense to me because you know how they make IUDs out of bronze because they're like, they kill the sperm.
Copper.
Ah, shit, you're right.
Damn.
Damn you, sleep deprivation.
Damn you.
Damn you.
Oh my God, that one looks like a
Yeah. The next one is an ancient Greek terracotta phallus.
Oh, that's why it's cracked.
Yeah,
Okay.
I doubt there was like,
It's got a big hole in the
double
top.
holes back in the
Rawr.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the brown one, Michael. Yeah, it does look like a bong.
Oh my
Go
God,
back.
yes.
It's
It's
the
my
it's the
smoking
brown one that
phallus.
looks like a pipe. Yeah. Oh, you got it.
It's my
Yeah, that
smoking
one.
phallus. Was it?
So yeah, terracotta. That doesn't wig me out too much. Kind of feel like that would, maybe not mess up a lady's pH balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a massive vein.
I know
Holy
the vein
shoot.
almost looks like a figure that's
Yeah.
like praying or something.
Yeah, call me later. Vein check. Then there's this one, a French ivory dildo.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Complete with, you say that word, contrivance
Yeah, sure.
for stimulating ejaculation. Oh, simulating ejaculation.
Oh, which means it has a plunger, so you
Oh.
can put stuff inside of it to simulate
Oh my
ejaculation.
I wonder what they put inside of there.
Custard.
Custard. I thought she provided
Cheese.
the custard. Ugh, I thought she provided the cheese too. Ugh. It just makes me wonder too.
Semen?
Okay, before I show the next picture, I just got to say, as I was like self-educating about the history of dildos, I couldn't believe some of the shit, literally shit, they used to make fucking dildos.
Shit.
Camel shit. They used
No.
camel shit. Yeah.
No,
They would
poor
shellac-
pussies. Oh,
Now,
shellac
They
it.
said they would
Okay.
shellac it. Sometimes they shellacked it. Maybe they just waited. Like I heard that there were different forms of shit. The first thing I read was they used camel shit and they would shellac
Oh
things.
God.
And bananas, of course, were really popular back in the day. But
course.
get this, the Greeks would use fucking baguettes. Like, how is that going to not make a woman grow bread if you're using bread to fuck her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't shellac the bread. They would just fuck her with
They
some
just
bread.
fuck her with the bread.
It seems like you'd really want some serious lube with that too.
Right.
That's nasty.
Yeah. Well, and then the
my
other
God,
question was,
this is so bad. Like in my mind, it's turning into French dip. I'm like,
right?
what's
That's
going
what I
on?
did
Like,
too.
would they just
Yeah,
do it and
yeah,
then it would get soft
yeah.
and then they'd be like, thanks, babe. And then they go eat it.
Right. Totally. That's what I was thinking too. You know they ate it.
You don't need butter on that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what you need on that bread.
Yeah, exactly. Some ball.
do.
Juice. Yeah. Or Balfredo sauce or something like that.
Balfredo.
Balfredo. Or, they probably had chronic yeast infections.
Oh my
you know.
God. Yeah. No kidding.
Ugh. It was just like fondue. Fondue me.
Fondant.
A little fondue will do me. Yeah. So,
right,
yeah,
let's
that
keep
was
this
gross.
going.
I know. And then, the next one is the collection of Japanese sex aids, 1930s. Holy mackerel. Those actually
Wow.
look like, some really awesome Art Deco.
Those are beautiful.
Ding dong,
yeah.
ling along things.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's it's in like its own
Yeah.
little like gourmet tea box,
Yeah, cool.
as they do. And this one, I forgot to capture what it's made of. It looks like, I don't know, looks like maybe resin, because resin was being made in the Art Deco.
Yeah,
era.
yeah. It does look like a resin.
Yeah. Bakelite, not yet. And then the next picture is of exactly what we inherited from our grandmother.
Yes.
The personal vibrator that,
They're so
women
cute.
must have had really tight jaws back then.
Yeah.
Maybe it was all the sexual frustration, that they had to constantly be working their jaws out like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Totally,
Really? Oh my
totally.
God, they still sell this at Walgreens.
This
oh my
is
God.
like the classic vibrator. Totally.
Yeah, this is exactly the one Grandma had. And she did look like she had a very relaxed jaw. So it must have been effective. And then the next
Are
one,
you calling Grandma a slack jaw?
slack jaw, mouth breather. Yeah, see? Well, with all the orgasms, you can imagine she was probably pretty relaxed.
Yeah,
like,
5
"Ugh,"
kids. Come on.
just drilling on her tits. And the next one is, of course, the household family favorite that everyone used to relax their jaws.
Still uses. It's still
Yeah.
the favorite, the Hitachi magic wand, right?
The number one.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm sure that it smelled like the family tree in every household.
Oh my
that
God.
could be
I
close.
think that's. Yeah.
Oh, I did find.
Where's the one with
the blue double-sided dong. That's one that I found.
God.
I think that this one
This
was
one looks
Greek.
like it's for. It looks like it's for pegging because, like, one side it has a nice thickie and the other side has a small one.
Right, you're right. I didn't even notice
I'm
that.
like, oh, how sweet.
A little
They
peggy
considered,
weggy.
or like maybe, one person just feels like they want a thick day and the other one's like, no, I'll take the small side today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
exactly. No,
But
you're
I love
being generous.
I love how the balls look like like it's gonna fly away. Like they separated the balls and stuck it on both sides, which we've talked about how when we were kids we thought the balls were like two separate sacks.
Balls.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So this looks like it could have been drawn by us when we were kids because the balls are completely separate and on opposite sides of the double-sided dildo.
It's a Ziggy dick, just like our Ziggy Nasties we drew when we were kids.
It's Ziggy's beautiful dick.
Yeah,
ready to fly away.
Men going off to war, and Romans and Greeks used to use these to leave with their wives so that they wouldn't go into hysteria, which was thought to be caused by a lack of sperm. They were so confused.
And wandering uterus.
Wandering uterus syndrome.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes you wake up and you're like, it's up here.
Oh my God.
I've gone crazy
it's
now.
on my face, not on school picture day. Why?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
freaking
good.
Hilarious.
Yeah. And then, of course, I found pictures of like the actual like original vibrator that the Victorians used. And it did look like a frightening power
like the
tool.
steam powered thing. I've heard of this thing.
Is it steam powered?
Well,
Yeah, I guess it was.
There were many different
electricity.
versions, I guess. Okay.
I did see some wind up ones that looked like those windy whisks, where you and some of them when you wound it, it went like back and
that's
forth.
like a fucking machine.
Like a fucking machine. I'm just a fucking machine. Okay, so that's all I have for like dildo stuff.
Wow.
I know, right? Very informative.
God. Okay.
And
That's cool.
It did make me wonder, like, okay, so what did women back when they were using like camel dung and shit to whack off with, what did they do for yeast infections before like, Monostat and crap like that?
God, I mean, I would just hope that I would hope that what happened was what has happened many times throughout my life, which is your period comes and kind of like rebalances things. I'm hoping that that's what happened for them and that it didn't just progressively get worse and worse until they're like, opening a patisserie to, get rid of all the bread that's like between their legs.
Or a food cart, just lay on their backs with their legs up. Fondue for you. Little fondue.
Come take a dip.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Mama's Fondue Shack. Oh my God.
You're disgusting.
So nasty. I am
So
disgusting.
nasty.
Oh my God.
Oh,
question.
We have a question. My favorite. I love comments
with
and questions. Me too. They spice up the show.
What are the original pocket pussies? And don't say goats.
Oh, I want to say the original pocket pussies were, if we learned anything from watching the chimpanzees, it would be a wide mouth frog. If anyone hasn't seen that horrifying video, just,
oh my God, that
just
is awful.
Google, monkey mouth rapes frog. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty horrifying. Like I actually felt a little traumatized by it.
Yeah.
Just for a second though.
Well, to our messenger, I would say, since you're at home in the comfort of your own home, maybe Google it and then let us know.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
And we can
really
talk about it this
too.
time or next time. What is the original pocket pussy? I mean, I would say in many cases, it's whatever is handy.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But
yeah.
But I think a lot of times it would be probably food-based or
right.
whatever. But then we also know from, our family and their, their experiences working with the general public, that people put their dicks in socket wrenches. They put their
What?
Remember that
Socket wrenches?
we're related to an EMT.
We're clearly inbred, but go on. Yeah.
No. Our cousin didn't do it.
Oh.
But he was on a call where someone had put their dick into I think it's a socket wrench. It's the wrench that has a hole in it. And when
what kind of a call? Where was this cousin of ours working?
He's an EMT.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Okay. So he stuck his dick. Oh, I'm remembering the story.
Yeah. And when a penis is flaccid, you can kind of stick it in things like a rat or a mouse or a ferret or something. Like, they're pretty squishy and flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they fill with blood, the blood going into the penis comes through the inside, I believe. There are some below the surface veins.
Right.
And then returns to the body through the ones on the outside.
Right.
And so
right.
the cock just gets bigger and bigger, and it creates more pressure in the wrench. And then, and then you have to call an ambulance.
Yeah.
Because
can you imagine
because you now have an aubergine.
Wrench?
Yes.
Yeah. Cut off of your penis. How terrifying.
No, I remember how they had to resolve it, and it was bad.
Well, EMTs, I think that, they'd be great to hang out with and have a beer with, because the stories I heard from my EMT friend about stuff they found in people's asses.
Oh my God.
My favorite was I think it was 8 or 9 Barbie doll heads.
I remember that one.
The worst was a light bulb, easy going in, and then the ass just swallowed it. I probably already mentioned that on the show before.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's a classic.
It's a classic.
That is a classic.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I had a weekend.
I bet you did. You
Let me
always
tell
do.
you.
Go sharp.
So it was Kingfest this weekend, and I did not have tickets, but I went to some really wonderful fancy town kind of
fancy
parties.
town.
Yes, they were
God.
lovely. Like, they had a maid who would bring you cocktails and all sorts of
Was she
wonderful
shirt cunting?
Shirt cunting? No, she's very proper.
Oh, very proper.
And yes, very proper and very hot.
That can be kinky.
And then and there were tastings of different styles of
lubricant,
flogging, and stuff like that, of kind of BDSM stuff. And I got flogged by 2 people at the same time.
I don't believe it.
Beautiful tango using Cat of 9 Tails.
Wow.
So I had 18 tails on me. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
It was
Put that
really
on your tombstone. That's what we're gonna do.
Done. Did it.
Yeah.
It was really wonderful. It was super foxy and
so
like
it was
hot.
to the beat, like
Absolutely,
slam, whackety, whack,
like they
whack.
were dancing
like
totally.
like that.
Yeah.
Is that a tango? I don't know.
Yeah, something like
not a
that.
big
That's
dancer.
okay.
Yeah.
But so that was, I actually did that a couple nights, and that was really, really fun.
Nice.
And ran into someone we know. And then
fabulous. Someone I live with.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah. It was really awesome.
And someone we know left on Sunday night to go to a shindig.
Yeah, exactly.
I was so excited for her.
And there's so many levels of this, and I'm just like Miss Dabbler, just kind of, going, oh, don't bruise me,
don't leave a mark.
That kind of,
I have a day job.
Yeah, exactly. But some people take it much more seriously, and it's like it's a real kind of relationship that they develop with the other person, and with the experience, and with their own pain, and like their internal, like what's happening within their bodies. And like I saw some really incredibly strong people, and like
you mean strong in how they were taking and managing the pain?
Yeah, and how they communicate, and how they, just it's very you can't be a bad communicator in this stuff.
Right. It sounds like it's
you'll get injured, or you'll injure someone else, or you'll have you'll screw up consent or something. And so it's like just the way that people communicate with each other in that culture is just so beautiful, and so spot on. Like it's really wonderful, and you really see people caring for each other. Because if they're tuned out, if they're not caring for each other, it could be bad.
Right. And I see as a silver lining in that as well. Not that there's not a lot of great stuff going
Uh-huh.
on, but on a psychological level, to be able to be put in an environment where you're having to learn to use your words,
Uh-huh.
advocate for yourself, be very
Yeah.
authentic. And the beautiful thing, I think, one of the things about it is the vulnerability,
Mhm.
putting yourself out there, by
Yeah.
advocating for your own needs, saying what you're going through, and
Yeah.
mentoring that behavior is awesome too. And I bet when
Yeah.
you do that, it translates into the rest of your life.
Yeah, I believe it does. I think it would be hard to be such an excellent communicator in some regards and then not in others,
Mhm.
unless you think about it just like when people are triggered or when they're, hurt or, emotionally hurt, like they aren't always the best communicators. But
Yeah. Right.
outside of that, I would think that it would translate to the rest of your life
Yeah.
to better communication and
Yeah.
also better internal, just sort of like internal tuning in, attunement to other people and also to yourself.
Right. Connecting with those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of the things I read too about BDSM is that people that experience that open up to that, they tend to have actually like an easier time opening up to new experiences and managing
Mm-hmm.
their stress, because I think that when you're willingly exposing yourself to physical pain and stress like that
Yeah.
you end up sort of like developing better coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
And that people that experience BDSM, that they actually end up opening up to more new experiences in
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of more, adventurous. Imagine that. But what's the chicken
Yeah.
and the egg in that situation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's, maybe you take a little baby step of letting someone, paddle your bum a few times and then you're like, well, maybe I'll try the next level.
Yeah. Right. Right.
And then maybe that pushes some edges and you just kind of slowly develop,
Yeah.
find your way into it.
Right. Yeah. It's
so
easy
exciting.
to think like, oh, I could never do that. And then you do
Mhm.
it. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I guess I'm a person who can do that. And then there's
Yeah.
the next thing and the next thing and then the next thing.
Yeah.
So you're looking back at the old prude corpse you left behind. Like, who is that? I don't even know.
Totally. It's kind of like when you were a kid, all the foods you thought you didn't like.
Yeah.
And then as you grow into adulthood, you're like, oh, wow, mushrooms are rad. Green peppers are awesome.
Do you
and all
like
that.
liver and onions now?
I always did.
Ew, God, Char, no.
I love meat.
Yeah.
I'll eat brains and heart and penis.
Don't forget the sweetbread. It's balls, I think. No, that's Rocky Mountain oysters.
What is
Sweetbread is brains? Anyway.
I thought it was a
don't know.
gland.
You're right. It's the thymus gland.
Yeah. Okay. It is a
ding, ding,
gland.
ding,
It's a
ding.
gland.
For the win, Char.
It's very glandular. Very glandular, like your breasts.
So, and then after the weekend, I got into this great conversation with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I are, we kind of drift apart at times and we come back together. And she was feeling like shameful around, having such a great weekend and like, feeling like,
Because she's someone in the scene too that
she wasn't at the same things, but she had a really
in
fabulous
the same sex positive subculture.
Sex positive, polyamorous, all that stuff. So, and she was feeling some shame, I think, because she had such a fabulous weekend, and it was sort of like, God, I had my dream weekend, and I was with my favorite people, and I feel like at the end of it, I feel a little slutty, and I feel a little ashamed. And then, like, she reached out to me and was like, "How do you deal with these feelings?" And I was like, "Well, first of all, trust me, the feelings do come up." And I'm going to segue into this wonderful post I saw from Victor. Victor was on. Yes,
he will win.
He does win
He
a
does
lot.
win.
He is amazing. He does. It's Ab Ovo.
Is this on
Bonobo Man?
Facecrack?
Oh
You
no,
saw
Rewild
this?
Arrows. Rewild Arrows. It's Facebook. Well,
Okay.
he does it on Facebook, but then he's also on Instagram and stuff like that. He just comes up with these. He does kind of like sexual therapy and like but body centric, like
Was he a guest of ours?
Yeah, he was a
Oh,
guest
I
of ours.
remember him.
Yeah. So really wonderful. But he did this one that just, whoa, it really struck home with me. And I love where he went with it.
Great.
It's an adorable post also. I think we can put it in the notes somewhere. But it's called shame. When
Mm.
shame knocks at your door, invite it in for tea. Let it have its say. Feed it shortbread. Commiserate with it for what it's trying to protect. And then tea time is over. Escort it to the door. Hand it its hat. Thank it for coming by. And then do the fucking thing that you wanted to fucking do in the first place. And I am like,
That's great.
yes, that is
Yeah.
exactly what I do with shame, and what I would love to encourage more people to do with shame is you don't run away from shame.
Don't shame the shame.
You don't shame the shame.
Right.
You say, hello, hi, I see where you come from. I see why I'm feeling you. I see that maybe I might not even feel like I deserve these great things that I have. And
Mm.
I'm going to stare you down because you're
Mhm.
the schoolyard bully, or you're the
Yeah.
dog that's chasing me. I'm going to stare you down and I'm going to tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
But first acknowledge it. You can't just run away from it and
Mhm.
pretend like it's not there. You have to acknowledge it, move through it, and then let it fuck off for real.
Yeah. You said butt fuck first. I just wanted
Butt
to say
fuck.
that. Butt fuck first. Butt fuck first.
But fuck
Squirrel.
it. But fuck it
Yeah.
on the way out.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Butt fuck it lovingly on the way out.
And actually, I mean, if you go to his site, you'll find so many gems like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
course.
we'll forward you the link. It's going to be in the
yeah.
show notes, everybody.
Well, I'll send you this email again.
You can do it
'cause
later.
It's in the
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's embedded in the picture.
It's
Um,
embedded.
Anyway, I love that. I love that
that
idea
too.
of really just asking yourself, well, why is this shame here? Is it because of
Oh,
how I
got
grew
an
up?
idea. I
What?
got an idea. I think that it's implanted in us so that we're easy to control. You know,
Mhm.
it's like if, just like in religion, how it's like religion, the body is original sin.
Mhm.
And then they make sex shameful. It's that goddamn Eve eating the fucking apple and, the thing with the snake.
Yeah.
And so if they can keep us distracted by thinking that this inherent, what's a smarter word for unremovable part of us?
A permanent or
Yeah.
fixed or something. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Inherent part of us that essentially they can distract us with feeling like there's
Yes.
Sorry, I'm so
There it is.
distracted. Speaking of distracted, there it is. There's the image. Oh, that's so cute. It reminds me of Beatrix Potter.
Me too.
What kind of is that, a badger?
It is a badger.
Oh, and
I like to think it's a honey badger
and he's
because
got
honey
his-
badgers don't give no shits.
That's right. And he's got his baguette that he's about to fuck.
Yeah,
That's great.
he's about to put that in his badger cunt.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
even parents, we learn it honestly. Everyone
Yeah.
instills their kids with a sense of shame, that illusion that you could be unlovable or abandonable, which means
Mhm.
in, nature, death. We need our parents. We need our tribe to
Yeah.
survive. So if they implant us with this fear that you could be unlovable and abandonable, I probably made that word up,
Mhm.
then they can control you with it. And that's why
Mhm.
people, when they don't like your behavior, they stonewall,
Mhm.
they ostracize you as a
Mhm.
threat to, make you
Yeah.
sort of acquiesce to whatever their desire of you is. And it's just
Yeah.
a really impatient way of parenting, I think,
Mhm.
instead
And I do want to step in and say I don't feel like I think our parents actually tried to do the opposite of
our
this.
parents, yes. but
Yeah,
in
our
the
parents.
big parent picture.
Yeah, I would say that the rest of it's hard because our parents did such a great job of giving us great books and talking about it and being
Right.
available and never being prudish and all that stuff. But then when the rest of society is saying sex is nasty, who the slutty girl is always the first to die in the horror movies,
Yeah.
and it's like you're kind of fighting an uphill battle in a way if you are the conscientious slut or the whatever
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Well, it comes, I
the
think,
ethical
originally
stud or
from religion and then,
Yeah.
into politics and,
yeah.
I mean, in our society that we can't even show the breast yet on
Mhm.
social media.
Mhm.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I still think there's so much
Unfucking-believable.
fear around the power of female sexuality.
Right. Exactly.
That's been a story since, kind of recorded stories in history of and the woman took the man's power through her sexuality and she tricked him through her sexuality. Yeah, Eve.
Yeah.
And so it's there is, and sexuality is powerful, male and female sexuality, all of it's so powerful. And it's also scary because we do see people make really bad decisions
Mm-hmm.
while having sex brain, or because someone's hot, or because of sex in some way, because of this power of sex and attraction.
I know. Tell it to my month-long bladder infection. So.
God, if only you could stop fucking for a single
I
day,
know,
dude.
Jesus Christ. I can't do it, Captain.
You're just making up for lost time. I think that's,
Yeah.
and more power to you. And your poor little bladder.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is a nice segue from shame is like, I have been kind of dating more lately, and it's interesting. It's interesting finding, I dated. Dated in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Then didn't date again until my mid-30s because I was married for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Then was pretty much monogamous for like 8 years, and then started dating again a little bit, like more slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And now feel like I totally have my sea legs with dating.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we're all aging.
Yeah.
And people with penises who are, as they're aging, boners become less predictable.
Yes.
Or less
reliable,
or I don't even want to say reliable, but less commonplace or whatever. It's like
maybe less spontaneous.
Yeah. So it's like, as let's say as a teenage guy or in your early 20s, you get boners that you're just like, God, fucking go away, Jesus, not in the middle of church. Fuck you, asshole dick. Stop getting boners. And then as you age, it that kind of like stops happening so much, and then
you miss it.
Yeah. Then you miss the spontaneous. No, I don't know if that's the case, but like what I have found is that I think a lot more people become more kind of sapiosexual as they age, and that you can't help it that the penis is connected to that big, beautiful brain of yours. And yes, it's connected to the balls too, but it's also primarily connected to the brain. And so I was just kind of thinking the other day about like how, to me, when when it's not just like the full on just boner at the drop of a hat, I actually find that to be a good sign, because usually that means that the person is connected,
right?
Like everything's connected, and that that having an erection can be a sign of, oh, you're mentally stimulated, you're there, you're present,
right. It's actually a more personal reaction other than just a physiological hiccup of like,
press button, get boner.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I remember once even a boyfriend in my like late 20s was waiting in the car for me to get out of the bank. And I came back to the car and he had this raging hard on. And I was like, what's that about? And he's like, the sunlight came through the window and it just felt so good. And I was like, wow, okay.
a
sunbeam. Yeah, I gave him an erection. Like, those were the days.
Yeah, right?
So I agree with what you're saying. Like, I appreciate, as we age, the telling authenticity of an erection.
Yeah. And the complexity of the humans, and just like I don't know, it makes it feels more equal to me, because I feel like I've kind of been that way for a long time, where it's like, if I had a visible boner, there are lots of times in the past where I would not have had an erection,
right,
because it's too loud, it's too bright, I don't know the person well enough, something smells funny, there's this there, it's like all these things. And
is
like,
that me?
Oh my God, let me get into sex party etiquette for like 2 minutes here.
Go, Shark.
Whoa.
Go.
So distracting. By the way, if you go to a sex party, and this isn't about the latest one or anything like that, it's just something I've observed over time. I am very sensitive to environment, connection, all that stuff.
Etiquette.
And when I'm, just trying to immerse myself in something, and then two people who orgasm like 5 or 10 minutes ago start talking about, oh my God, and then this thing happened and it was so funny, and they're like, I'm like, excuse me, I am trying to have an orgasm over here. Would you please be quiet?
I'm trying to concentrate.
I'm trying to concentrate. And so you're like, put on a bike helmet, stuff socks in your ears, like, oh my
Butt
God,
plugs.
shut the fuck. Put the butt plugs in your ears. It is, so it is like, sex party etiquette.
Yeah.
If you want to have a loud conversation, go to the not play space.
Yes, exactly.
Just FYI. And that goes for like in a sex club. If there's like a beautiful, sexy thing happening near you, maybe don't snort laugh.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Exactly.
Just be aware that you might be harshing someone's good time.
Right. I get that. It's like, being a massage therapist.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I have those clients that would show up and just like say hi, lay down, start snoring, farting, I would sometimes put in Pandora comedy earbuds, and then I'd be like listening along and then I realize, I'm rubbing someone's ass right now. I probably shouldn't be laughing. It's just laughter in the same room with naked bodies. I think that could be triggering for a lot of people.
Yeah. And
maybe that's a don't.
It probably has nothing to do with their naked bodies. That,
totally.
Why you're laughing, but it's just,
if it does, you're a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, that is true. Like that would be cruel.
It's another level of like
cruel and horrible
sadism.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So Is that the end of what
that
Guru
was kind
Victor?
Of the end of what? Yeah, that was the end of Victor's for that particular post. But I really do recommend that everyone go and look him up at rewildarrows.com.
Rewildarrows.com.
Eros.
Like rice. No, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm just
not
kidding.
arroz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool.
I think he's incredible, and he frequently inspires me to do some sort of deep exploration on my own.
I want to hear more about this. It's Kink Fest, it's called, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't able to get into it.
It's annual, right?
Yeah, it is annual, and I really am going to get on buying tickets early next year because
you buy tickets. So is it this like the convention center?
It
or
is.
something?
Well, I don't know which one it's at. I believe it is the one just over in Northeast Portland.
I thought you went.
I didn't go. I had to go to an.
Oh,
I went to an after party and I couldn't go to the actual
okay.
Kink Fest because there were no tickets available.
Wow.
But if there were just so many vendors there that were selling these beautiful things that
I'm
custom made.
That
I know we're gonna have to go next year.
Okay, we are.
Yeah, definitely.
With a film crew,
have a hall. Yeah, exactly. It's just the stuff that I was seeing coming out of Kink Fest, like the things that people purchased were just gorgeous, handmade.
Wow.
Loved it. Yeah. I know. It's so sad I wasn't able to go. But you know what? Yes. I did have an amazing time.
Yeah.
With some of the people
with the after parties. That's great.
Party. Yeah. It was incredible.
Do you know if it's always the same weekend?
It's probably around the same time every year. Gotcha. So I think it's around Easter-ish. Every year.
Of course, spring equinox, fertility. Yes, of course,
exactly.
When else would it be?
So I definitely do want to go next year. And then let's see what else is going on. Oh my God, there was what was it? God, I was receiving a flogging, and like I can't remember what it was. I was talking about like, that's a really deep flogging. Can you flog me on the inside? And then I was like, I want to flog you like an animal. I want to flog you from the inside.
So much for etiquette, right?
I know.
Although that could really add to someone's experience. It would mine. Not if you saying it, but I'd be like, sure, can you please go to the other room?
Exactly.
Love you, bye.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I become that person. Totally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although now our relationship's gone there. I saw you get flogged at Sanctuary. So
that's right, you did.
Yeah. I did. I was like, all right, no, right, that's happened.
It's just nude butt. That's
dude.
All.
With all the like kid shit we did together. I mean, we're not incestuous, you guys, but I mean, yeah,
nudity's nudity.
I used to
whatever.
pee on your leg in the shower. So,
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
This is how it would go. I'd be washing my hair. I'd be lathering up, looking at the shower head, just la-da-da-da-da. And then I'd feel warm water, not from the direction of the shower head, and I'd hear And I'd turn around and she'd be straddling my leg, pissing on it.
It's sterile. It's a sterile fluid. I was just trying to sterilize you.
Yeah.
You looked dirty.
I was dirty. That's why I was in the shower.
I was such a brat.
It was
Sorry,
hilarious.
not sorry.
You're not sorry.
She washed it off. It's okay.
I did. It washes right off in the
Yeah.
shower. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Oh,
curious.
yeah.
Did we ever get any questions, unanswered questions from
Oh,
our peeps? Because I know that, like, sometimes they start like stockpiling.
yeah,
they can
they
be
do
hard to
for
get to.
sure. Let me see
Yeah.
where I keep my questions here.
Yeah. Oh, and
Dun.
someone actually ordered last week when we aired the aubergine homemade small
Mhm.
batch organic sustainably harvested dildo company on our show. We did have one of the callers buy one of the dildos and gave us a review and said it's amazing and it fit perfectly into his like strap-on holster.
Oh,
I was really impressed with the strap-on holster too, and I hope that he, whose name shall not be mentioned, gives us a link to where it looks so handmade. That's so Portland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
ask the person.
The person, the unnamed person.
Oh, and I do want to give a quick review.
Oh.
I had the deco model.
Mhm.
The cool thing about the deco model, let me tell you, is the area of the head where typically there would be an indentation.
It went out.
it went
was an
out.
Audi. I remember that.
It was awesome.
Oh,
That is a
good.
really amazing thing. I wasn't
Maybe
sure
it
how that
gets
would feel.
more G-spot, P-spot.
I think it does.
Wow, that's brilliant. I didn't
is
think
brilliant.
about that. I got the wrong one.
Well, you know what?
Meh.
You can still get the right one.
That's true. Steve, I didn't try mine yet. Maybe I can just return it, get the other one.
But see, the thing is, the one that you got, maybe that has some secret power that we're not aware of, too.
You're right. I
Dun,
should just
dun,
try it. Dun, dun, dun. And if not, it's real pretty. It looks nice on my altar.
It's beautiful. And the great thing is, you could get the deco in that same color, and you could have two on your altar, and they'd match, but they'd be different.
Oh my God. I still want someone to make like a strap-on set, like one for a unicorn and, for double dong devil,
Yeah,
head dong.
that'd be pretty
horns.
sweet.
Yeah,
That'd be
anyway.
awesome.
I'll work on the
Oh
name.
shit!
but-
Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, you got distracted. It happens a
I
lot on this show.
did.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's
These are all
there's-
such long questions.
I know. We just, but ethical non-monogamy is complicated. So I think that's why
is.
there's such long-winded questions, is that everyone has to kind of like describe exactly what they're going through. And it's often highly complicated. I find that most times too, it usually has to do with some version of jealousy. Jealousy seems to be one of the number one things. And you can scroll. I'll just like talk everyone's face off.
Yeah.
But like, what I kind of noticed too is the ways, the subversive ways our jealousy can find a way of expressing itself, like attaching to more superficial issues. But I think that there tends to be a common sort of like subplot where it's coming from is jealousy. But if you didn't have that, the subplot, then these superficial elements wouldn't bother you as much.
Right.
It's really
right.
challenging to figure out how to let go of another person,
Man.
love them, and be very generous with them and
Yeah.
their partner, and realize the cunning ways of jealousy.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I think jealousy needs to be treated much the same way that shame gets treated, which is, well, you don't have to tell it to fuck off, but to say, "Hey, hi there, come
Yeah.
on in.
Yeah.
What are you all about? Let's have a little conversation. Let's have some tea."
Yeah.
And then feel it
Yeah.
and go
right.
like, "What?" Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can say, "Well, you're not useful. You should fuck off." But
Yeah.
that doesn't always work.
Yeah.
You
Or just
can't-
like
you can't
take
do
it in and breastfeed it,
Yeah. That's
it's
right.
usually, I think the bottom line is it usually has to do with like one of humans' biggest fears, which is abandonment, because that tends to mean death to humans. It's huge. It's so
It is
so huge. It's very
we
brave
need
to
each
confront
other to
that.
survive.
We need each other.
Okay, this is really good, and I think we have enough time to go through this. Stories about consensual non-monogamy that we, society, culture,
Mhm.
really need to let go of. here are a few stories, but I bet you and I can come up with a few more.
A million.
My partner will replace me with someone new. Oh, that's a story, isn't it? Like, oh,
The
and
most common one.
if I don't hold on to them with a death grip, they're going
Yeah.
to find someone that's better
Mhm.
than me.
Then they'll want the monogamous relationship with that person.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I'm not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Because we're never enough.
That's in there.
I'll hurt my partners if I see someone else.
Right.
So then that's the kind of more codependent side of it, which is like,
Mhm.
oh, I need to act like I don't like anyone else or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Polyamory is harder to get right than monogamy. Boy, that's a big story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think the thing about it that's so different and what makes it seem harder is that we don't assume that you have to do polyamory, but there is this assumption in our culture that you have to do monogamy.
Right.
If
right.
you're going to take that escalator, if you're going to do the next step in
Mhm.
loving a person.
Yeah.
And so it isn't any more complicated.
Right.
It's just that it's consensual.
Mhm.
And so you have to talk through the things.
Right. And, I was talking with a friend recently about it. And one of the things that I was kind of reframing it as is that ethical non-monogamy is, I think, more front-loaded with communication. Whereas in monogamy, a lot of the times people end up being non-monogamous, but they're just not ethically non-monogamous.
Oh,
So
fuck
then,
yeah.
they end up being found out. The other relationships grow. There hasn't been healthy communication about it. And then the shit really hits the fan and
Mhm.
rapport is broken, trust is broken. And that's how you lose relationships in their entirety
Mhm.
rather than, kind of like having to generously be more selfless and open up and let the relationships be what they are. Find your place in it. We're being trained in this monogamous structure where we tend to it's really hard to like get it out of your head and
Mhm.
want to be the primary, want to be the favorite, want to be, and I'm not saying everyone needs to do that, but that's one of the things I recognize coming up in myself a
Mhm.
lot is like, Byron Katie questioning that thing out is like,
Yeah.
how does that make me feel when I feel that thought, that I
Yeah.
need to be the favorite, I need to be
Yeah.
have most of their time, and who would I be without that thought,
Mhm.
that I need to be the
Yeah.
favorite, and usually it's like, oh, you find generosity and peace of mind.
Mhm.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, and you can still see those things come up in polyamory, and again, just like say, yeah, I'm feeling this thing, and you can say that to yourself or to your best friend. You don't necessarily always need to express these things to the partner about whom you're having the feelings,
Mm-hmm.
because that really maybe isn't their job.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. You do have to have like that level of self knowledge and ability to go in.
Yeah, yeah. And also like, that's the amazing thing about ethical non-monogamy is that really anything goes, you can find your way because some relationships would even be benefited, I think, from partners coming to each other with that level of vulnerability. Like for
Mhm.
me, that's something I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And it gives me permission to be so human, to
Yeah.
be so vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know and that's what Brene Brown says is like the backbone of intimacy is that vulnerability.
Yeah.
So I kind of lean that way. I like the vulnerability thing
I do
because then I don't
too.
have to hold up my armor.
Yeah.
I just want to let it all go and be human.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been learning that too, is to just share the thing that's maybe pinching, hurting,
Mm-hmm.
and do it in a way that isn't like, oh, I'm hurting because of you, but
It's your fault.
I'm hurting because of me, because of these internal dialogues that I'm having, or because of these, connection
Fears,
things that,
narratives.
fears, my security. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
it's an amazing thing. And then you give other people, whether it's one of your partners or friend, the opportunity to really be there for you and to really show up.
Mm-hmm.
I love
It's
that.
true. I know.
And they freaking show up. all the time. It's incredible. Yay, friends!
Yay, friends! Yay!
Best.
Yay, canaries in the mine shaft community. I know, it's great.
It's really the best.
Yeah.
At the same time, I would say there is, sometimes there are arrangements that, relationship styles of relationships that don't really work for you. Like I found like maybe I'm not the best at triads. Maybe that just doesn't really work for me as like a primary thing. And maybe that's like,
You mean if there is another primary and you're in the triad?
yeah, and we're all trying to be equal. Like I
Oh,
just
right.
don't, I feel like that doesn't, like maybe that's just not my style.
Well, you know what
Maybe
that
that's not
reminds me
me.
of? Yeah, that reminds me of is that, the Gottmans, these psychologists that
Yeah.
they study human relationships up in
Mhm.
Seattle, and they do like the Seattle Love Lab, the one where there's all the hidden cameras and two-way mirrors, and they study people and what builds relationship love and rapport and what breaks it down.
Mhm.
And one of the things that it breaks down rapport is scorekeeping.
Oh,
When
God,
you start to do the, well, you did this and you did that
Uh-huh.
this many times. And I only, I'm the saint, you're the bad guy, that kind of a thing. And so like, there's something about that having to have equal power in a triad that reminds me of kind of like, I imagine that it invites scorekeeping in really
Bingo.
easily.
I think it does, unless it is a upfront, you're building a relationship all kind of simultaneously, and
Mhm.
everyone's open to this triangle being all sorts of shapes.
Amorphous.
Yeah.
Yes,
What the hell?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're at 6 o'clock.
It's
Well,
6.
we did it.
We
again.
did it.
We
We-
did it again. We did our Clone A Willy show. Hey. Well, not quite,
we
actually.
did it again. We almost made a dick, but not quite this time.
Yep, it's our cliffhanger, dick hanger.
It's our dick
Yet
hanger.
again. Next
Yay.
week, for sure, I'm going to be sporting a Clone A Willy.
You need to show us, no matter how ugly it is, we need to see this fucking
know.
dick.
Fucking
Show
dick.
me your dick.
Well, and that'd be a first. But yeah, when this thing cures,
Oh my God.
I am really curious to see how all the chemical reactions worked out. There's so much chemistry in these Clone A Willys, you guys. Like, seriously, don't take it on yourself and be like, I'm going to save some bucks. You fucking can't.
Yeah.
This is the cheap way to go, is the original Clone A Willy.
Yep. Got to do it that way.
And take my notes. You're going to need
I just
'em.
hope it comes out just looking like blistered and fucked up
And covered
weird
with
in a way.
like silicone warts and gooey.
Yeah.
That's part of what
I'm
can
like,
happen. Is
I
it
want
can just
Frank
be
and Weenie to
slimy.
come out of there.
Frankenweenie. Yeah.
Light the
Yeah.
weenie on fire.
And I think it would turn you into a Franken pussy. That's for sure. All the
Yeah,
weird
definitely.
chemistry in there. Anyway,
Yeah.
sure. Did you ever put up your PayPal to get
God, I
tips?
suck
God
at that.
Damn it,
You know
we
what?
suck.
I know, okay.
This is ridiculous.
I have some time off coming up. I'm sending myself a message right now.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, or maybe
Nick.
pay Michael to do it, our sexy nerd producer.
Yeah.
Michael. Yeah, just like stick like a tenner in his little belt loop or something like that.
All right, I just sent myself a message. If I don't do this,
Yeah.
I will spank myself. I'll
Yeah,
have
and
someone
like
else
and
spank
subscribe.
me.
You know, all that shit
Yeah.
that's annoying for everyone to hear. Like and subscribe. It helps us. We might actually make money at this one day.
Oh my
if
God,
people
it's
actually
so
like,
crazy.
yeah, it's amazing to me how many of my friends have never even seen the show.
Yeah.
And then how many people are like, no, I didn't like or subscribe. Thanks for nothing, fuckface. So anyway.
Well, I'm going to unsubscribe to you.
Yeah. In life.
Yeah.
Delete.
So as they start talking to you, you just walk away from them.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I delete you. I just unsubscribed. Bye.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's only my life's passion.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Fuck off.
thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks
Yeah.
for tuning in to our tuna.
Thanks for paying attention to our
Yeah.
tuna.
Started,
Yeah.
don't
And
know what you did.
see you
Now
next
I'm the
Tuesday.
gal that
Did you
What?
call me? Don't you call me? Wait, no, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Baby. Eagle beaver, baby. Well, what are you gonna do with this eagle beaver, baby of mine? Ooh, I'm always there beside you, no matter where you stop. I'll follow you to movies, even to the barber shop. Now